500,000 kids participate in their sports programs. And tonight, a growing number of people are calling on the AAU to ban a top junior volleyball coach accused of sexually abusing his players in the 80s.
And one of his former players, a Jacksonville woman, is now suing the AAU to get him thrown out for good. This is a story we have been following for months now, and we recently followed it to Orlando for the National Volleyball Championships. On the court, the battle is intense. On the line, a national championship.
Hey, let's go, PVC! PVC on 3, 1, 2, 3! PVC! Let's go!
But it's the battle brewing off the court that has Sarah Powers Barnhart's stomach in knots.
Didn't expect it so quickly. Walked in the first court, there he was. I saw him.
Powers Barnhart, the director of Jacksonville-based Powers Volleyball Club, used to play for Rick Butler. He's the owner and director of one of the most successful volleyball clubs in the country, Illinois-based Sports Performance Volleyball.
It's very anxiety-provoking, even seeing his teams. They're everywhere.
She knows sports performance well. Powers Barnhart was the club's star player in high school. She was 16 when she says Butler started molesting her. Her allegations against Butler are detailed in her lawsuit against the AAU filed last month.
He took my virginity. He sexually abused me more times than I'd ever even want to talk about. In places, cars, in the season, out of the season. He was a manipulative, very strong person who had control over the success or failure of my life, I felt, in the volleyball world.
She's one of 3 women who came forward to the USA Volleyball Association with similar allegations against Butler in the 90s. Butler was never charged with a crime. The statute of limitations had expired, and he categorically denies sexually abusing anyone.
Now, passers work on getting us a good pass.
At the time, he did acknowledge having sex with the women, but said the relationships were consensual and did not begin until after they turned 18 and no longer played on his team.
This is like Groundhog Day. The 3rd nationals in a row since we started speaking again publicly about it. He's still here, still coaching. Nothing's changed.
Despite Butler's denial, USA Volleyball found the women's allegations credible and banned him for life in 1995. That ban was rescinded a few years later with the provision that he not coach young girls. The chair of USA Volleyball Board of Directors, Lori Okamura, now calls the decision to reinstate Butler a mistake.
You got to play D and hit so you don't have a wing.
In Powers Barnhart's lawsuit against the AAU, she alleges Butler should have been banned from the organization. She argues her allegations against Butler give the AAU reasonable cause to believe he engaged in sexual misconduct.
How in the world can little kids, girls that play this sport, feel safer when he's still coaching? There's no way. He needs to go.
We came here to the AAU National Championships in Orlando to get answers. We wanted to give Rick Butler an opportunity to share his side of the story, but he didn't want to talk, and neither does the AAU. I'm Heather Crawford, the first coach in Jacksonville. I really think it's important to give you an opportunity to share your side of the story.
You don't care about my side of the story.
I do. I'd be happy to speak to you away from your team and players.
While Butler declined to speak to us, his wife, Cheryl Butler, did.
35 years, and I'm not standing for it. I'm going to protect our kids. They talk about it's not about the kids, well, they're hurting the kids. So if they want to keep doing that, then that's a choice that they make, but I'm going to protect our kids. And if you have anything else that you want to say, then you talk to our lawyer, Terry Eckel out of Lyle. You're free to call him.
Mr. Butler, would you speak to me outside here, away from your team? Do you have anything to say about the allegation? Nothing else.
Butler faces growing opposition. Dozens of players and spectators showed up to the championship games wearing T-shirts in silent protest.
We see it so unjust, but there's only so much that we can do to help. So the idea started as, let's get people there to support her courtside so that she's not feeling so very vulnerable and exposed. And then the idea came in, let's identify ourselves with a shirt.
On the front, I stand with them, his accusers. On the back,
ask me why. That is to get word out. It gives us an opportunity to talk about it.
As long as Rick Butler is still coaching, the AAU is not doing its job to protect athletes.
Olympic gold medalist and Jacksonville attorney Nancy Hogshead Makar runs an organization called Champion Women that provides legal advocacy for girls and women in sports. Her organization started a Change.org petition in June calling on the AAU to ban Butler. It has already garnered more than 2,700 signatures. The AAU declined repeated requests from First Coast News to discuss the allegations against Butler and its decision to allow him to continue coaching.
There you go, way to be smart.
Last week, the AAU filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit filed by Powers Barnhart and wants the judge to throw out the sexual misconduct allegations because of the statute of limitations. Hogshead Makar says the issue is bigger than removing a single coach. She says it's about getting club sports to prioritize athlete safety over finances and says that the silence from the AAU is deafening.
The AAU is more concerned with money and medals than it is with the safety of athletes.
Powers Barnhart says she's not about to give up on or off the court.
Save it, save it.
Keep on fighting until Butler is banned.
This arena needs to be about a safe place for little girls to play and not have to deal with what we had to deal with.
Butler's attorney sent us a statement saying in part, Rick Butler has never sexually abused any individual, and the allegation made by Change.org that he did so over 30 years ago is absolutely false. Rick Butler has never been accused by USA Volleyball, AAU, or law enforcement of illegally abusing any player or committing any crime, and there is no factual basis for Change.org to make such a defamatory allegation. And you can read the full statement on firstcoastnews.com.